Of course there are shortcuts when it comes to fitness. Anything that makes it easier to perform the necessary work will enable you to get better results in less time.
One of the biggest fallacies that we have in our fitness culture is when people are trying to lose weight or increase their caloric expenditure, they often turn to the workout in order to do it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with working out. Working out can certainly be effective, but I want to bring to light some of the big limitations towards relying on a workout for your caloric expenditure. Okay? The biggest thing is workouts are short-term, momentary events. They're not very long-term things. It's like you're going along, your caloric expenditure's here, and then you have a workout, boop, and you have this momentary spike in caloric expenditure, but then you're back down to here. And then you have it again, and then you have it again. And this is okay, but it's not a whole lot. And I know it feels like a workout is a lot of energy being poured out, caloric expenditure and everything. It really is not. I remember I did a little experiment. I took one of these heart rate monitors. I can kind of guesstimate your caloric expenditure. And I wore it during the mountain bike race. And I did this because the mountain bike race, at least in my world, is by far the highest amount of calories I can possibly unload in a given event. I mean, my heart rate and everything, I mean, I'm going at absolute red line for an hour. It's far harder than I would ever put myself through in a normal workout in the gym, by far. So I'm thinking to myself, I gotta be burning a crap ton of calories through this race. And it was a lot of calories burned, but it wasn't nearly as much as I thought, because after hour 15 or so, I burned roughly 1,000 calories, which may seem great, and it can be a lot, but you gotta consider a couple things. Number one, that type of workout is so hard that I only do it once a week. That's it. It's just once a week for an hour. So when you look at the total percentage of time for a week, it's really not that much. Second, you also got to consider that of that 1,000 calories, at least 200 or so was calories I would have just burned any day, like just through my base metabolic rate or normal activity, light activity. So it wasn't 1,000 extra calories. It wasn't all extra. Only some of that was extra. A good chunk of it was extra, but not really that much more. And the other thing to consider too is that I could easily erase that with a couple of slices of pizza afterwards. Boom. A couple of slices in a beer versus, you know, something lighter fare and like diet soda or spring water, and it's gone. It's gone. And an entire hour, all that, it just nothing. This is the problem with working out. Workouts are very hard, they're very draining, and they're short term. This is why I'm a big fan of saying if you really want to lose some weight, try and get your caloric expenditure out. Like if this is your normal baseline and this is your workouts, try and bring it up and try and keep it higher throughout the entire day, throughout the entire week. And it doesn't have to be that hard. We have this association with pain and gain, which there's something to be said for it. However, just because you're busting your ass does not mean it's that much more effective. And just because it's relatively easy doesn't mean it's not effective. The literal walk in the park can be great. You know, 100 calories burned is 100 calories burned, regardless of if you're swearing, busting your tail, dripping sweat, exhaustion type of exercise, or just walking the dog. 100 calories burned either way is going to have the exact same effect. Only one is going to be a lot harder to do, a lot more over time, higher frequency versus the other. So what I'm saying is use a mix of these things, but just because an activity is fairly low key, low intensity and stuff, doesn't mean it doesn't count. It does. Every calorie counts, both going in and going out, and don't over rely on the hardcore workouts, but use anything that expends calories as an additional way to help you lose weight. Till then, be fit, live free.